Okay, this is a review of David Moss, the car dealership in Orlando. He has several dealerships, and we're going to do a better business review of them. So we just go to bbb.org, and we're going to visit the USA site. We're going to check out a business, and we're going to look for David Moss, Orlando, Florida. He's got two reports right now. The main report is his big dealership on Reinhardt Road, David Moss Toyota. So we just merely view a report. BBB reliability report for David Moss. His BBB rating is a D. It means he almost failed. So on the level of ripoffs, he's almost as bad as you can get. An F is the worst. So he's very low. You can see here, based on the BBB files, this business has a rating of D on a scale from A+ to F. Reason, because he's failure to respond to 2 complaints filed against business. Wow, only 2 complaints? Well, you see down here, BBB has processed a total of 26 complaints on this company in the last 36 months. Our standard reporting period. Of the total 26 complaints, 13 were closed in the last year. So he's trying to rehabilitate his BBB rating. Some were about advertising, some were billing, contract issues were a big one, consumer service, guarantee or warranty issues, repair issues is a big one. Another big one, his sales practices. Yeah, people know he's a bait and switch. That's what they keep complaining about this guy when you look all over the net, over and over, bait and switch, bait and switch. So I don't know why the Florida Attorney General office lets them operate so out of control, but that's what they're doing. And then service issues. So he's had a whole bunch of negative reports. That's the Better Business Bureau. Now if we go back to his Volkswagen, and you can see here that he has none of these. He's not a member of BBB, so he's not accredited. In other words, he doesn't want anything to do with the BBB other than he knows that when people complain he's going to have to respond, okay, or he'll have a lot of heat on him. So he's not a member, and you can see he's got a D rating. Now we'll look at the Volkswagen. Wow, he's only got a C rating on the Volkswagen. So he hasn't had as many complaints there. And the reason he's not a D is because only 1 complaint hasn't been resolved. Now in the Volkswagen, instead of 26 like the Toyota, he's only had 5 complaints. A lot less people drive Volkswagens. And most of it's repair issues, some are guarantee and services. So I guess his Volkswagen dealership isn't as bad as his Toyota. But then again, he is personally at the Toyota one. That's his pride and joy. So where he's at all the time, he's got a D, almost an F. Other people, they got the typical C for a car lot. Anyway, everyone has horror stories of dealing with, the car dealers. But this guy's pretty notorious. He's got a D rating on Better Business Bureau, etc., etc. And again, if you go to Google, and you just merely go David Moss Ripoff, you'll see there's wow, 137,000 results for this guy now. So, I spelled his name wrong. Sorry about that. David Moss Ripoff. There you go. 1,820 results as of today, November 26th. So it's November 26th. He's got almost 2,000 David Moss Ripoff reports. And ripoffreport.com, that's the main one. You can go in and see he's got stuff there. And he's got all kinds of complaints against him. There's a lot of files that you can read through. You can see already David Moss info. David Moss info and David Moss ripoff, they're all already showing up in the search engines. So the word is getting out about this guy that he's a ripoff artist in many people's mind. He's got a terrible Better Business Bureau rating. He's not a member of the Better Business Bureau. He's doing a lot of business in Orlando. So you might want to think about that before you do business with David Moss. A lot of people are saying that he's ripped him off, that he's a con artist, he doesn't service his cars right, that he uses bait and switch. These are all the allegations that are all over the internet about this guy. So feel free to participate in the freedom of the net by putting in your opinion of him, good or bad. There's a lot of forums like Ripoff Report. If you've been ripped off by him, you can file on, or file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau if he's ripped you off. If you want to sing his praises, go create a David Moss's great site, or whatever you want to do. But he's a car dealer. He does a lot of business in Orlando, and a lot of people are saying he's ripping off people.